Hey everyone, Tassif here, back with another live stream. And I see a few likes on this video already. So wonderful. If you're giving my video thumbs up, I really appreciate that. So it's wonderful to see a few likes already. And I see a couple people are here. If you are here, please write something in the chat window before we start the conversation, so that I know who's here. I see more likes, more views, more thumbs up. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. My friends, I want to ask you, how are you all doing? I want you to answer, if you want to, how you are doing. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on in our country. And so I think it's important for us to ask each other, how are you doing? It's a question that we commonly ask when we run into someone, when we meet someone, when we see someone. It's part of our everyday greeting. We say hello, we say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and then we ask people, how are you doing? Or what's up? What's going on? Uh, and so how are you doing, or how are you, is a part of our everyday language. It's part of our everyday greeting. It's part of our social life. As we socialize with people, as we meet people, we ask how they are doing. But it's really more than that. When you say it um, from the heart, you really want to know how the other person is doing. And I think we have arrived at a point, um, you know, at a point in time at which it is important for us to ask each other from the heart, how are you doing? How how are you? How are things? Because people are under a lot of stress, and there's a lot to be nervous about when you look at the economy. There's a lot to be concerned about when you look at all the conflicts and all the unrest all over the world. There's a lot to be anxious about when you look at the political situation in our country, and when you think about the future. There's a lot that goes on in a person's mind. And so people are under stress, people are anxious, people are worried. Obviously, there's a lot of happiness in this world, no doubt about that. People are happy because, each person, depending on the circumstances in life, each person may have different reasons to be happy, to be cheerful. That's all great. We need happiness. We need a lot of cheer, a lot of joy. But at the macro level, given that we are all, individuals living in this country, we are all part of, even if you're not living in the US, you're living somewhere else, you're part of this world. And there's a lot going on in the world right now that makes us worried, that makes us anxious, that makes us um, concerned about the future, the economic future, the financial future, the future in terms of, are we heading towards peace? Are we heading towards more conflict? And so I think what I really want to ask you is how you are doing. And I ask this from the bottom of my heart. I want to really find out how you're doing. Are you happy? Are you doing okay? Are you worried? What is it that you're worried about? Are you nervous? Are you struggling with something? I want to know. Okay, I really do. So if you want to share, please do so. Write something in the chat window. Uh, Louis from Oklahoma writes, "Hello, this is Louis here in Oklahoma. Things are going well, not too bad." Well, Louis, wonderful to hear that. Wonderful to hear that you're doing well. And one of the ways we can really stay well and feel well is by thinking positive, by being optimistic. Optimism is important. There's a lot of pessimism in the world right now, and people have reasons to be pessimistic, honestly speaking, because there's a lot going on in the world that shouldn't be happening. A lot of conflict, a lot of war, a lot of unrest, a lot of unrest. And so if you're doing well, if you think things are going well, if things are well on your end, I'm really happy to know that. I really am. So, Louis, thank you for sharing that. We need to be positive. We need to be optimistic. And Louis writes also, we have a good governor. So wonderful to hear that. It does matter who you have as the leader of the state in which you reside. It's very important. You've got, in Oklahoma, you've got Governor Kevin Stitt, obviously a Republican, and it's good to know. The most important thing is, what do the people of the state say about the governor, right? I mean, I can comment on Greg Abbott, which I frequently do, for example, and I say he's doing great. He's one of the best governors. He's the best governor. I call Governor Greg Abbott the best governor in the country right now. But it's coming from me. And I live in Madison, Wisconsin. I don't live in Texas. But if somebody from Texas says that, hey, Greg Abbott is awesome, that carries more value, right? Because if you are a resident of Texas, if you live in Texas and you love the governor, then that carries more weight than me saying Greg Abbott is awesome while I'm sitting here in Wisconsin. So Louis is writing that the governor of Oklahoma is a good governor, and that carries a lot of value. That says something about Governor Kevin Stitt. And I don't, to be honest, I have not really followed closely what Governor Kevin Stitt is doing, what his day-to-day work is, what his priorities are, what kind of bills he's signing into law, because there are so many states, it's hard to keep track of everything, right? I mean, I try to keep track of what's going on in Wisconsin. But if Louis is saying, Louis lives in Oklahoma, if Louis is saying we have a good governor, meaning Governor Kevin Stitt, then me as a Wisconsin resident listening to Louis, who lives in Oklahoma, I get a really good impression about Governor Kevin Stitt, right? Because it's coming from Louis, and Louis lives in Oklahoma. So, Louis, thank you for sharing that. And I think our elected officials, elected officials in general, they get a lot of blame. They are subject of criticism. People criticize them. People blame them. People say all kinds of bad things about elected officials because they are not happy with the party that the elected official belongs to, or they are not happy with what the elected official is doing as an elected official, what bills he or she is signing, what priorities, what initiatives the individual has. And so I think whenever an elected official deserves praise, deserves compliment, deserves good words, I think we should be vocal about it. So it's easy to criticize a governor, or to criticize a senator, or to criticize an assemblyman when things go wrong. But when things are going well, it's equally important to praise them, and to say a few words of encouragement. And so, Louis, I'm very happy to hear that you like your governor. And so, by the way, Oklahoma is a beautiful state. I drove through Oklahoma a few years ago as I was traveling to Dallas, Texas. Really wonderful people. I spent very little time in Oklahoma because I was primarily driving by. I was crossing the state so I could go to Texas. But the time that I spent in Oklahoma, at a coffee shop, at a restaurant, I got a very good impression. So Oklahoma is a good state. The people are wonderful, friendly, and it's great to hear that you've got a good governor. So thank you for that, my friends. Anyone else who has not yet written something in the chat window, please do so. Participate. It's important. Because as I keep repeating, I want this to be a community. I want people to engage with me, to share their thoughts, to share their comments. Ask me questions, okay? Ask me questions if you want to. So, my friends, the title of this live stream is, Will Our Country return to the days of prosperity? Very important question, my friends. And why do I ask that? Why do I ask that? Because right now, we are not really heading towards prosperity. Right now, things are going in the wrong direction. Right now, there's a lot of bad news. Right now, there are crises in the country. Right now, people are struggling financially. Right now, our relationship with our international allies are not that great. Okay, could be greater, not that great. Um, right now, um, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty in our country, and so we want prosperity. We want success. We want peace. We want happiness. We want people to feel confident about the economy. We want people to feel confident about their future. We want people to be able to uh, pursue opportunities. We want people to be able to save money and you know um, uh, head towards a better future. We want people to be able to buy homes. We want people to be able to buy affordable gas. We want people to be able to afford groceries. We want people to feel great about the country that they live in. Right now, we have so many challenges. Gas price is high, crossed the $7 mark in a place in California. Uh, mortgage rates, uh, mortgage rates make buying homes unaffordable. Groceries are very expensive. There's crime increasing in many communities. Migrants are continuing to pour into our country, and they are getting a lot of services paid for by American taxpayers. There are many homeless people, homeless American citizens who are in a lot of pain. There are many veterans who served our country. They are veterans. They're American veterans, but unfortunately, they are not getting the help that they need. They are not getting good medical services. They are not getting the mental health care services they need. Many veterans are living without a home. They are on the streets. They are living in shelters. They are not getting the housing, the support that they need. So things are really heading in the wrong direction. And so that's why I asked the question, will our country return to the days of prosperity? We were prosperous. We were prosperous. Just go back a few years. Go back to 2018. We were doing great. Go back to 2019. We were doing great. And now we're stuck in a situation where everything's just heading in the wrong direction. Everything is going in the wrong direction. Okay? When people work hard and they still cannot make ends meet, and it's not just about one person or two people or a group of people, it's about many, millions and millions of Americans, hardworking Americans, people who are working hard and they're still struggling to make ends meet, then you know that something's really wrong in this economy. Something's not right. And it's not just one thing or two things that are wrong. Many things are going wrong. The energy sector heading in the wrong direction. Uh, the 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 uh, the overall economy heading in the wrong direction. Our foreign policy is really not strengthening our position in the world. Excuse me. And our adversaries are becoming strong. Our position is becoming more weak. Government is spending money that we don't have, and national debt is increasing. People are losing confidence in government. People are losing confidence in the economy, and so everything's really heading in the wrong direction. And so that's why I asked this question: will our country return to the days of prosperity? How about I pause for a few seconds, a few moments, and let you answer that? I see more people have joined. Please, my friends, if you are joining, Write something in the chat window. Please write something in the chat window. I would appreciate that. Ask me a question. Ask me a question. Give me 1 second, my friends. Looking for a pen. Let's see. JW is here. JW, thank you for joining. Welcome to the live stream. Good to see that you're here. JW writes, GDP number not great either, right? Everything, JW, everything's heading in the wrong direction. Nothing's really growing well. I mean, you mentioned GDP. You are absolutely correct. And I know why you are talking about the GDP, because some latest data came out, right? So reportedly, GDP, the gross domestic product, the GDP growth slowed down to a 1.6% rate in the first quarter of 2024. And this is below expectations. It's below expectations, okay? And the expectation was 2.4. The expectation was 2.4, but the GDP data came out to be a 1.6. And so this is well below the expectation. So things are not going well. Things are not going well. Excuse me. Maya Sisters is writing, hi everyone. Well, Maya Sisters, thank you for joining. It's good to see that you're here. Louis writes, what do you think what the root cause of country going south? Well, the root cause, Louis, is the lack of leadership. The lack of leadership in our country. The lack of leadership in the White House. You look at Joe Biden. Is he really fit to be the commander-in-chief? I mean, all the note cards that he has when he's talking, and he gets his instructions from the staffers. He's supposed to be the leader, but he seems to be relying on instructions from other people, right? I mean, yeah, a president needs to have support staff, chief of staff, a communications director, advisors. I get that. Every president has that. But the president needs to be a leader. Unfortunately, Joe Biden is not a leader. And, people often ask, like, who's really running the show? Who's really running the country? Who's really running the White House? I mean, it doesn't seem that Joe Biden has any kind of leadership. So who's really, in charge in the White House? That's a question that people frequently ask. And so I think lack of leadership is really hurting our country. And it's not only that, it's also, lack of leadership when you look at the commander-in-chief, but also you look at the administration, you look at the secretaries, you look at the advisors. What are they up to? I mean, Pete Buttigieg, transportation secretary. I mean, why do we have all these problems with the airlines, with the trains, with the bridge collapse, with the shipping industry, the ship hitting the pillar? Why do we have? Excuse me, my friend. I'm still dealing with some of the allergy effects, and it just makes me sleepy. The allergy medications is just having this allergy, because I can't sleep well at night because of my allergies, and so then I feel sleepy, in the evening. So as I was saying, you look at all the cabinet secretaries. You look at Alejandro Mayorkas, Mr. Mayorkas, Homeland Security Secretary, keeping the border open. That is, it's just unbelievable. It's ridiculous. And so it's not just the commander-in-chief who isn't fit for office, but it's also the different administration people that he has. Pete Buttigieg, transportation secretary, not doing a great job. Alejandro Mayorkas, right? Uh, he's the Homeland Security Secretary, and with him being in charge, we've seen 10 million people, 10 plus million illegal immigrants enter the United States. So the thing is, when you want to see the root cause, it's really the administration, the president and the administration in charge. That's the root cause of all the problems. Now, I wonder why people voted for them, and I know a lot of Democrats, they regret voting for Joe Biden, and I'm hoping that some Democrats will actually switch and vote for Republicans. So that's my expectation, that's my hope, because people are suffering. I mean, this economic crisis that we have right now, this is affecting, middle class Americans, low income Americans, regardless of political affiliation. Okay, if there's a middle class Republican, that Republican is being negatively impacted by the Biden administration policies. If there's a middle class Democrat who voted for Joe Biden, that person is also suffering because of the Biden administration's policies. So I think um, I don't know what people expected when they voted for Joe Biden. Did they think that the world was going to be, it was going to turn into some kind of a heaven, or this country would solve all its problems and life would be a bed of roses? Is that what they thought when voting for Joe Biden? I mean, guess what? The economy is now a nightmare, and it's directly because of Joe Biden and his administration and their policies. And their policies. I mean, we had energy independence when Trump was in office. We had energy independence. We achieved energy independence. But look now. Look what this green energy agenda has done to our country. What has this green energy agenda done to our country? So anyway, my friends, Princess Elder is here. Princess Elder writes, "Hey there, sorry I'm pretty late." Not a problem, Princess Elder. Wonderful to see that you're here. Thank you for joining. I think it's been a while since you tuned in for one of my live streams. Princess Elder, are you in California, if I remember correctly? Are you in California? I'll let you answer that. Are you in California? Okay, I'll let you answer that. But thank you for joining. It's good to see that you're here. And so, yeah, the question really is, oh, you're from Connecticut. Okay, got it. Got it. Connecticut, not California. You know, Pamela Hernandez is from California. I know that. So you're from Connecticut. Okay, well, that's great. Wonderful. So thank you. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see that you're back. So thank you for that. By the way, how are things in Connecticut? Are things good? Are things okay? Now, there was an earthquake, right? Not too long ago that affected New Jersey and New York and also parts of Connecticut. Did you feel that, Princess Elder, that earthquake that happened? Did you feel that? Sometimes I feel like asking a lot of questions. So, answer only if you want to answer. Okay. Cold, but a lot of protests. Okay. Yep, I have heard about the protests. I continue to watch the news about the protests. So obviously, you're seeing protests in various cities. And so, are you? I don't know. Where are you in Connecticut? Are you in New Haven? Are you close to Yale University? Princess writes, yes, things were shaking. So you really felt that earthquake. Okay. Yeah, I heard it was really scary. Obviously, earthquakes are scary. JW writes, these protests are insane. Lots of protests, my friends. Lots of protests, lots of unrest. Oh, so you are where Yale University is. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's where all the protests are, right? I mean, based on the news report. So Okay. Yeah, we need peace on earth. We need to return to the days of prosperity. We need people to be happy. We need people to be able to pursue opportunities. We need people to be able to buy homes, to be able to afford homes. We want people to have access to affordable energy, right? Affordable gasoline, and so everything's heading in the wrong direction with this president in charge and his administration in charge. Like I said, it's not just the president, but you're also going to have to look at the secretaries and different people in the administration who are not really doing a good job. So, Princess, it's really good to see that you're back. Sorry to hear about the unrest you're seeing in Connecticut. I have never been to Connecticut, but I know it's a wonderful state, beautiful state, I bet. I've been to New York. That was a long time ago, New York. Um, so, yeah. All right. So, any questions for me, my friends? Any questions? I'm going to pause for a second. I'll see if you have any questions for me. All right. By the way, please, if you're joining this live stream, please give my video a thumbs up. Give it a like. Give it a like. Help me spread my message to more and more people. I would appreciate that. I see more people have joined. That's wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Uh, okay. Princess Elder writes, and it is nice here with the 4 seasons, and I can just jump on the train and be in New York quickly. So that's wonderful. Transportation is such a huge aspect in everyday life. It's just a huge thing, right? I mean, here in Wisconsin, transportation is pretty easy. I mean, most people drive cars, and we don't have terrible traffic. Although during the rush hour here in Madison, Wisconsin, the roads can get pretty congested, especially the Beltline Highway. But for the most part, things are good here. Things are good. JW writes, we need for people to be able to come together again if possible. I miss how things were before COVID, but everyone was so divided and everything was political. Princess Elder writes, are you sick? Yes, great question. So I am a little unwell. Actually, today I am doing much better than I was doing a few days ago. So I have allergies, and in the springtime, because of all the pollen in the air, because of all the flowers blooming and everything, the pollen really bothers me. So I get itchy eyes. But the itchy eyes I can kind of deal with. But what really bothers me is when I get runny nose. So I get runny nose and nasal congestion at the same time, which is kind of strange, right? I mean, I get congestion here deep inside, and then I also have runny nose. So one side may be congested, the other side may have runny nose. Plus, I have a deviated septum. It's, I was born with it. The doctor told me when I was a little boy, very young. So I grew up knowing that I have a deviated septum. So I don't know how bad the deviation is, but I have a deviated septum. So it really makes, whenever I get allergies, it just makes things worse. Okay, because I have a deviation somewhere in there. So anyway, I saw my doctor this week, my primary care doctor now, a great doctor. And so he looked at my nose, he checked my throat, he checked my ears, and gave me some allergy medications. So I have to take those medications. I got a nasal spray that I currently use, and the doctor prescribed me another nasal spray. So I'm gonna use that. Then the doctor gave me also 2 different allergy medications. Something that you can get over the counter, really. So nothing really serious, but a few nights I suffered a great deal because obviously when you have congestion, nasal congestion, and you're breathing through your mouth, really like sleeping with the mouth open, it can be very difficult to sleep. And in fact, a couple nights ago, I slept for only 3 hours. Okay, I slept for only 3 hours, and so I was running all day on coffee and tea, and that also can be very exhausting. If you're sleepy and you're fighting sleep and you're drinking coffee just to be able to function and do the things that you need to do in a day, after a while, people just you have to get some rest to make up for the loss of sleep. So anyway, the question that you asked, Princess Elder, are you sick? Yes, I am a little sick. Um, and that's why I think my eyes are the way they are. I'm kind of sleepy, and I'm yawning, and I'm drinking tea, um, because the allergy medications, those make you feel sleepy. Those make you feel sleepy, but I don't want to sleep right now. So I am a little sick, but the thing, I don't like skipping live streams. I want to do a live stream, okay? Even if I'm a little unwell, I'm not feeling 100%, or, I still want to do those live streams. I did skip a live stream. What day was it? I think it was the 23rd. I didn't do a live stream. I actually wrote a post on YouTube. I said no live stream because I'm still dealing with allergy symptoms. But as much as I can, I try to do the live streams because being here makes me feel good. Having conversations with all of you make me feel good. Your questions, your comments, the fact that you participate in the live chat, you ask me questions, and we can have this conversation. It makes me feel really good. Okay, like I said, I want my channel to be like a community where people can come and we can share our thoughts with each other. So even if I'm sleepy, even if I'm, not 100%, I've got nasal congestion, I still want to be able to do the live streams as much as I can. Okay, it may not be 2 hour long. It may be a shorter live stream, depending on, how long I can continue and how long people are interested to be here. But I still don't want to skip it. Even if it's half hour, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, I still want to do the live stream. So, Louis is writing, the two parties don't see eye to eye. The unity is divided. Yeah, we need to be united as a country. People can have differences of opinions, but I think we all must aim for one thing. We all want a prosperous country. We all want a great economy. We all want to see an economy that provides opportunities to hardworking Americans. So that should be the common goal. It's really sad to see how there's so much of division in the country right now. And when you look at some of the policies that the left is proposing, um, those policies are really going against our country, going against what's good for our country. I mean, for example, the migrant crisis, the sanctuary city policies, the migrants are coming in, pouring into our country. And, it is not helping us. It's hurting our economy. It's hurting our country. It's causing more division. And so, when I look at the left, some of their policies are very, very detrimental for our country. It's okay if the two parties, they want the same thing, but they propose different ways of reaching that conclusion, that's okay. But if you see that one party, in this case the Democratic Party, they're advocating for policies that are going to directly harm our country, like this flood of illegal immigrants that the Democrats are allowing, it's like I wonder, what do they really want? Because the migrant crisis is not making our country prosperous. It's hurting us. And so then I really want to ask, like, why do you want this? Why are you allowing this crisis to continue? So anyway, there's a lot of division, sadly, and we'll continue to discuss that. Princess Elder writes, I'm sorry, chicken soup. Well, I didn't have. Did I have chicken soup? Oh, a few days ago, I did have some soup. It was, I think, cream of chicken and wild rice. I think what I really need is clear chicken soup, maybe like uh, chicken noodle soup would be great. But I have been eating healthy. I'm cutting carbs. I eat less carbohydrates. I eat more veggies. I eat a decent amount of meat. I avoid red meat. I mostly eat chicken, sometimes a little bit of turkey, but I'm trying to eat healthy because, I care about my health. Obviously, I want to make sure that I'm staying healthy. I'm not having problems. I think it's important for people to be proactive in ensuring good health because, we live in a society where there's so much of consumption of sugar and salt. Okay. I mean, there's sugar in so many foods. There's salt in so many foods. And so whatever you're eating outside, there's a lot of sugar, a lot of salt, and both of sugar and salt, both of these things are not great for our health if consumed in abundance, right? I mean, a little bit of everything is okay. We have to keep it in moderation. But when you look at some of the like the beverages and you look at the sugar content, there's so much of added sugar. It is unbelievable. I was buying a fizzy beverage the other day, and I looked at how much sugar there is. There's like 38 grams of sugar. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not buying that stuff. And there's also a lot of salt. You look at some of the snacks that are on the store shelves, like different kind of chips and different kinds of snacks. Such high sodium, a lot of salt, and it's just really bad. So I try to eat healthy, and I try the best that I can. Um, and that brings me to that point. You talk about food security. There are so many people in America who don't get nutritious food because of food insecurity. And so we need to ensure food security. We want to make sure that our economy is prosperous enough so that people can have access to healthy and nutritious food, right? JW writes, yes, we definitely don't see eye to eye, and I definitely feel like the two sides have very different worldviews and values. Yep, the two sides are very different. And, it's sad to see that there's division even within the Republican Party. Give me 1 second, my friends. Um, 1 second. Okay. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of division within the party. I mean, look at what's happening in the House. Look at what's happening in the House, right? We have the House majorities are Republicans, but it's a slim majority. It's not a very big majority. It's a slim majority, but we do have the majority. But there's so much of, um, so much of conflict within the party, and it's very sad because it's important for, particularly at a time like this, it's important for the Republicans to be united, especially when we're heading towards an important election. But there's a lack of unity, and it's really sad. What can I say? I mean, you look at what's happening in the House. There's ongoing conflicts. I think there's differences of opinion between um, the Speaker, Mike Johnson, and um, what's the name of the Congresswoman? Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm not saying somebody is right, somebody is wrong. Okay, I'm not picking sides here. I'm not saying Marjorie Taylor Greene is right and Speaker Johnson is wrong. I'm not saying Speaker Johnson is right and Marjorie Taylor Greene is wrong. I'm not picking sides. Okay, all I'm saying is it's sad that there's division within the party, and it's not good. We have to be united, especially if we want to make sure that we regain the majority in the Senate, if we want to make sure that we grow the size of the majority in the House, and if we want to make sure that we elect Donald Trump as president again. So, my friends, those are some of my thoughts, really. And so, going back to the question of will our country return to the days of prosperity? Well, it depends on what we do. It really depends on what we do. If we vote for the right leaders, if we hold the government accountable, if we reject the left wing policies, if we embrace freedom, if we embrace leaders who believe in the Constitution, who believe in freedom, and if we do all of that, then our country will return to the days of prosperity. And if we fail to do that, then I don't know. I don't know, my friends. I don't know what's going to happen. So we crossed the 40-minute time mark. Do you have any questions for me? Anything you want to ask me? Anything you want to share with me? Please do so. Please do so, my friends. Any question that you have for me? I'm gonna wait here for a few moments. Any questions for me? Can take a few moments. That's okay. There's a lot to discuss, but I want to make sure that if there's anything you want to discuss, I'll focus on that. I'll focus on that. So let me just share with you. There was a recent poll. There was a recent poll. Let me tell you what poll it was. JW writes, I think DeSantis is best governor. DeSantis is an awesome governor, no doubt about that. DeSantis is great. And you know, if DeSantis wants to run for president in the future, I think he's going to do pretty good. I think people will support him. Obviously, I can't predict the future, but, you know, just saying. So there was an Axios survey conducted by the Harris poll, which found that nearly two-thirds of Americans believe that illegal immigration is a real crisis. Okay. Wow. Nearly two-thirds of Americans believe that illegal immigration is a real crisis. So I think people are starting to realize the truth. People are starting to see that we have a real crisis. And when I say nearly two-thirds of Americans, based on the results of this poll, that it's not just Republicans who think that. There are also Democrats who think that, right? So anyway, what's the solution? What is the solution? You know, I think something we need to talk about is what is it that Trump's going to do if he's elected again? Excuse me. Is he going to choose mass deportations? What's he going to do? Because obviously those who entered the country illegally, they must face legal consequences. So does that mean they are going to be deported? I don't know, but that definitely may be an option. So once Trump is elected, I wonder, you know, what he's going to do to address this. Princess Elder writes, I hope so. You know, mass deportations is something that people are starting to, people are starting to support because it is unsustainable. We cannot support so many illegal immigrants in our country, people who are absorbing our tax dollars. So what do? Do you engage in mass deportation? That may be an option, and maybe that's what Trump will do. I don't know that, but we'll have to wait and see. So my friends, we're getting close to the 45-minute time mark. I usually try to do these live streams long, but obviously my health is not 100% right now, and so if there are things you want to talk about, I'll continue to hang out here. Otherwise, I might just end this a little early. Louis writes, what's the chance Trump can unite the country? Louis, great question. So let me answer that. Trump can really unite the country because you know what? Right now, people are looking for common sense solutions. Okay? So all those people who believed in Joe Biden's Green New Deal and green energy policies, all those folks who who thought that Joe Biden was going to unite the country and bring people together. None of that happened, right? I mean, the energy sector has been severely hurt because of Joe Biden and his administration's policies. People are more divided than before, and because of Joe Biden's policies, there's so much of crime in the country. There's so much of illegal immigration. So I think what people are expecting now is they want a real leader who is going to follow common sense, and that's Trump. So I think there's a hunger for a bold and honest leader. And so if Trump is elected, he really can unite the country. I think he can. I really believe that he is going to unite the country. So Princess Elder writes, look at the advantage they are causing in New York, all the crime. Did you mean advantage or something else? I can't. Yeah, I mean, definitely there's so much of crime, and people are not okay with it. New Yorkers are not happy, not happy. I mean, there are New Yorkers who tune in for my live stream, right? You may know some of them. And so I know that people are not happy with with all the uh, with all the oh, okay, so you mean damage. So Princess Elder means look at all the damage they are causing in New York, all the crime. Exactly, exactly. And how do you fix those damages? How do you do the repairs, right? Um, so, all right, my friends, we crossed the 45-minute time mark. I think I may be ending this a little early. I apologize. I apologize, but I think you can tell from my face and from my eyes that my my allergies are really bothering me. It's much better than before because I had to skip a few days when I couldn't do the live stream. But still, I'm recovering from this. I'm dealing with this, so I may have to I may have to end it now. Please stay connected to my channel. And I'm sorry, I wish I could stay a little longer. So JW, thank you for tuning in. Louis, thank you for tuning in. Princess Elder, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. And Princess Elder writes, feel better, get some rest, and have a good night. Thank you so much. So I'm sorry to be ending this live stream a little early. I usually stay at least 1 hour and then more, usually 1.5 hours. But today I feel like I should go and try to get some rest and get some medication. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. And I hope you'll stay connected. Please like my video. Please stay connected with me. And I hope to be back again with more videos, more live stream. Thank you so very much. I'll be back again soon. Thank you. Thank you so much, my friends.